is Jeff with Game-Refraction. I'm here at the 2017 Calgary Expo with Matt Banning, better known as Batt.
Yep.
Now, we talked earlier about how you got the nickname, but for those that are watching, how did you get it?
Well, the nickname came about while I was attending the Joe Kubert School in Dover, New Jersey. One day I was walking down the hallway and one of my roommates stopped me and told me that my name had been bothering him. And I was kind of taken aback at that, and then he explained that no, you switch the first two letters around of my first and last name and you get Batt Manning. Kind of alluding to the fact maybe I was destined to do comic books. And so once I started my professional career, I decided to go with the nickname Batt for a while and see if it would take, and it did.
Nice, because I know even people like Joe Madureira, they got so used to people mispronouncing his last name, you just went Joe Mad, and it kind of stuck. Now, you're widely known as an inker, but you've also penciled a few books as well.
Well, I actually haven't penciled anything professionally.
No?
Well, actually, I've done Marvel sketch cards, I guess. But for the most part, mostly it's private commissions with the pencil stuff. You know, we'll see what the future holds, I guess.
What's been kind of like, for you at least, like an obstacle in terms of like inking? Whether is it like a new artist that doesn't really have clean pencils or anything like that? Or?
An obstacle. Well, I guess the hardest part for me is if the art isn't actually, the pencils aren't actually finished. Like, I can ink off of layouts. I've done it in the past. I even did it once or twice while I was inking Silvestri, believe it or not. You know, and no one seemed to notice because one of those happens to be a Cyberforce cover that I signed quite a lot, actually. But I prefer for the basic drawing to be done. Like, I don't want to have to worry about whether forearms and upper parts of arms are actually really connected in the drawing or not. But for the most part, you know, the challenge for me usually is just getting it done in the time that they need it, because I want it to be perfect every time.
How many books roughly are you working on, kind of, like, I guess at the highest turnover, how many books were you kind of working on at once?
Well, in the early days, like back during the Top Cow days, at the early part of my career, I was churning out a lot of work back then. You know, probably somewhere between a book and a half to 2 books a month worth of work, I think. You know, if you include all the alternate covers I did and everything back then. Nowadays, I'm happy doing a book a month. I know some of the other guys like doing more than that, but for the type of work I like to do, that's the time that I need.
Your stuff on Darkness is probably some of my favorite of it, because I think it was like you and Silvestri and then Turner and then like I think it was Weems, I think was the other inker that did Witchblade.
Oh,
I can't remember, but it was kind of like that heyday of Top Cow, like really exploding onto the scene with like kind of a very unique look, because I mean your guys' stuff was way more detailed than what Marvel and DC were doing at the time.
Definitely. Yeah, like that was a great time. There was a lot of great creative energy, and I'm very happy to have been a part of it. You know, it's disappointing that I can't say I've had any other creative experience like that in comic books. That studio experience was very unique. And I'm glad I actually did enjoy it at the time.
What made a lot of like headlines of like, you know, like the Tom McFarlanes, the Eric Larsons, all those guys coming and making their own creative studio, because they were like the people at the Marvels and DCs that, you know, jumped to create their own stuff that they had like full license to. So it was probably one of my favorite kind of eras was when Top Cow was experimenting with a lot of stuff.
And Top Cow did do some things which they don't necessarily get enough credit for. Like, as far as modern day comic book coloring goes, Brian Haberlin and Richard Eisenoff and Steve Furkow and Ashby Manson, the early color guys at Top Cow really opened up the coloring in the rest of the business. We were on the forefront of, those guys were on the forefront of that, doing that. And I think, like, you know, we viewed ourselves as a boutique studio, so we didn't necessarily publish as much as Wildstorm or Extreme did. But we wanted our books to be quality books when they did come out, not just put out a book because we were dictated by a publishing schedule.
And you've done a lot of work with David Finch. Like, your guys' names are almost permanently beside each other with a lot of that stuff. How did you guys get first paired together in terms of a duo?
Well, we weren't paired together. It was a natural evolution stemming from the fact that we were working in the studio together at the time. And one of the great things about the studio was that if someone ran into a problem, they were getting stuck trying to figure out how to do something, there was always somebody to talk to. So, you know, at times, like basically, you know, I was already inking Mark and Dave was coming up and developing, and, you know, I'd make suggestions from time to time if he got stuck somewhere, and then I was also his editor on Cyberforce for the first 8 issues of his run on that book. And so Dave and I we enjoyed working together a lot, and when it comes to actually the inking and the work itself together, I think because of that time in the studio, there's a certain understanding between the two of us and the work, and like, he's had many other great inkers work over him, but there seems to be something unique about our pairing, and I can't tell you exactly what it is. It just works.
And what can people currently see you on right now?
I'm actually not on any books at the moment. After doing the Batman relaunch, I took some time off, and I'm just getting the word back out that I'm actually looking, to be honest. So in the meantime, I'm just doing private commissions, and, you know, people are starting to talk about things. So I'll have stuff to announce later.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.